Yo, welcome to the 52nd episode of Restart Diaries and also to In&Out with Ram segment on my channel. I actually invited one of my school friends as a guest into this podcast because he really has impressive profile. He did his bachelor's from IIT Madras Computer Science, worked in Google, and then pursued his master's from University College London, the Imperial College, one of the top, I believe, in UK. And the second interesting aspect that made me invite him to this podcast is he did his master's and then he went back to India without working in UK. Just wanted to know his story and see if we could actually grab some value out of it. So Mounik is actually waiting on Zoom call. So let's go ahead and let's learn about his journey. So we have Mounik here. Mounik, hi.
Hi.
How are you along now?
Yeah. I'm doing good. Yeah.
Doing good?
Yeah.
కొంచెం ఇంట్రొడక్షన్ ఇచ్చేసేసావా అందరికి, లైక్ currently where are you, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then let's start from there.
So yeah, I'm Mounik, and Shenmukh and I are like school colleagues, school friends actually. I just knew him from there. But yeah, I'm right now working as a trading system engineer at Quant Fintech. It's a high frequency trading company, and currently I'm in Bangalore. But prior to this, like I have a master's from UCL and a bachelor's from IIT Madras. And yeah, that I would say as like a brief summary for now. Yeah, we go into the details. So.
Okay, cool. Let's start from your bachelor's. Like beginning నుండి స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం. What made you choose computer science and how did IIT Madras happen? నీ ఆల్ ఇండియా ర్యాంక్ చెప్పబ్బా, నాకు చాలా ప్రౌడ్ గా అనిపిస్తుంది.
Okay. So first things first, like I was into this factory called Chaitanya, and it's like a pure grinding there.
Okay.
But I developed an interest for mathematics, I would say that. It's like I was on kind of a myth, like when it comes to math. So that's been like kind of something that whatever happens in any exam, I should like somehow score top in math. That was my like kind of goal. Of course, like that would lead to a really good score overall as well and good position. So that like kind of pushed me towards like when I was selecting my branches and all, that pushed me towards computer science, because people have said a lot that like computer science would have a good amount of mathematics and like would be suitable for me. People in the sense, these are like more my colleagues is what I would say, my friends at that time, like the people who have been seeing me. It's not the professors and all. Whereas coming to like I got all India 152 in JEE Advance, and that was like kind of pushing me towards, okay, if you get that rank, you have to be in one of the top IITs, and like with computer science, Madras was the top for that rank, and that's how IITM computer science.
Okay. That's nice. So how different was the reality at IIT? I am pretty sure you must have some kind of image, right, before joining IIT, that hey, IIT would definitely feel like this if I go to IIT. But how different was it when you joined IIT?
Okay, so this thing is what I would say is that because I was in like this whole grinding factory of Chaitanya, I didn't have any idea, like it was like you need to somehow get into IIT and your life would be sorted. I don't even know what IIT is. I don't even know, like how life would be after that. It was more like there is some kind of a paradise that's waiting for me. It was like all in my mind. So I would say, is it a paradise? If you are going out of like something really bad and like something better, then it's obviously feels like a paradise. But I would say there are some things that like might not have matched that. Oh my god, now I have to kind of focus on academics for a while as well. I have to like kind of go to classes and all. It's not like a complete like thing that you just enjoy. But then again, I used to think this. I would say this as an example. So when I was in like Chaitanya Narayana campus in Madhapur, I used to see from my window the In-Orbit Mall. So having a look from there, like every time I used to feel, oh my god, I don't even have, like this thing to visit outside world. I don't even know, like I was in this whole campus. But, like IIT gave me that Phoenix Mall, which used to be my regular place to go to. And that one thing I felt that I have achieved, like where I was thinking that, like I need to explore life and all, yeah.
That actually the freedom to get out of the building.
Yes. Freedom is something that like a lot. Yeah.
Okay, that was nice. So when you joined IIT, How are you in the first year? I mean, for that matter, I know that at least in school, I haven't spoken to you many times, but at least from my friends who knew you personally, Vishal or Sriram, వాళ్ళు చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే అరే ఫుల్ స్టూడియోస్ ఉంటాడు మనోడు ఫుల్ చదువుకుంటాడు అన్నట్టు చెప్పారు. సో హౌ డిఫరెంట్ వర్ యూ వెన్ యూ జాయిన్ ఐఐటి? ఐఎమ్ షూర్ జాయిన్ అయినప్పుడు కొంచెం ఇట్లా అరే ఇట్లా ఎంజాయ్ చేయడం, ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ చేయడం యాజ్ యూ సెడ్. And then how different were you at fourth year? Was academically same ఉండేనా inclination లేకపోతే కొంచెం ఏమైనా అదర్ నావిగేషన్స్ ఏమైనా పట్టుకున్నాయా?
సో వన్ థింగ్ ఏంటంటే ఐ వుడ్ సే ఫోర్త్ ఇయర్ వాజ్ ఫోర్త్ అండ్ లైక్ థర్డ్ ఇయర్ వాజ్ ఇన్ కోవిడ్ టైమ్.
Oh yeah,
that was one of the like kind of
I forgot
saddest
about
part
that.
of things that like we couldn't enjoy fourth year in person in campus.
Yeah.
But yeah, comparatively I would say that the first year Mounik was most probably like a bit more focused in academics as well, because I was just coming out of Chaitanya, right? So I was also thinking parallelly that like I need to somehow score these, like kind of get some good grades and all. But apart from that, I started exploring, I started going out with friends, I started building a social circle. I started building, like some kind of a gang of ours, and like I would say I was kind of the bridge between multiple gangs as well.
Oh,
I don't think gang is like something; it's just a group
Yeah.
in this. But yeah,
Multiple social groups to
yes,
bridge
yes,
la
yes.
ఉంది.
So this is something that I would say, oh my god, like I'm forming really good, like social circles. I'm going out with friends. I'm like watching a lot of movies, and like I just discovered my, what should I say, craziness about movies in IIT. So first year was more like a foundation for all of these, along with a really good focus on academics. Whereas coming to the fourth year, I don't know why, I was just so confident that I don't even like kind of care about academics, but I know that I would secure good grades. Like that kind of a confidence. Like that it's okay. You can just read one night before, or like something, but you would definitely score a really good grade out of it. And sometimes I remember my friends saying that like they prepare more but I get more, or something like that. I don't know, that confidence just grew. So the other passions and all took like most of my time, and movies and TV shows during COVID is a norm, and Mounik just
Okay.
exploded in that, is what I would say. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Let's go to the second segment, your early industry exposure. I see that in your profile, your first internship was at MX back in 2020.
Right.
I believe it's during the time of COVID.
Yes.
So how was the experience? Any real life contributions? And the reason I ask is because the first internship typically you do in your second year or third year in your BTech in India. It's I consider itself more as a training than actual job where you make any real life contributions.
Sure.
So how was your experience? I just want to know that if it's any different interning from IIT Madras.
I mean, it's not that different, I would say. So
Okay.
basically, it's more like mini exposure, I would say, to the industry. And in terms of the mini exposure, it's just like I think like I was assigned in a group of 8, and we worked on some kind of a side project. It's not like integrated with the main one, but like they were like, this acts like some kind of what should I say, signature, and we will integrate it in the future or something. But it was a good project, is only what I would say. It was kind of a good exposure that, oh my god, now my life as a software engineer is going to be like this. Do I want this is a completely different question, but okay, this is just a mini taste, is what I would say. Yeah. I don't remember much, but working from home during my internship felt like, chalo, 2 months we can try. And like it went smoothly, is what I would say, even though there were a lot of COVID related issues and all. But yeah.
Okay, nice. And then like after graduation, you joined Harness, right, as software engineer. Was it campus placement?
Yeah, it was a campus placement. I had nothing parallel at that time, so it was only campus placement. So
Okay, and like, do you mind sharing the numbers if you're comfortable? Like,
numbers,
how much did
actually,
the company offer you at that time?
I need to actually think about this, but the number was around 20, I would say. It's like the base plus bonus,
Okay.
and
Mm.
I don't remember, there was not much stock or like that component, equity component or stock component, but it was like the
Okay.
base plus bonus was around 20 is what I would say. Yeah, I used to get
Okay.
around
That's
some.
that's a good start. Decent start.
That's a decent start. I mean, like because of COVID, there were a lot of big companies that didn't come to the picture. There were a lot of offers that got revoked, and all of that shit was happening. So
Hmm.
it was like a decent this thing. I got into like the day one of placements only, so I can't like complain much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, you've been the topper. So traditionally, you should be the one to get into a good company.
There were no
Not
international offers as well, so nothing much I
okay.
could do about that. International, like even companies as well at that time. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And like from your first job, you worked there for 1 year, 2 years,
I worked there for about 7, 8 months. Yeah, I would say.
7, 8 months. Okay. I mean, I don't know if I should ask this question considering you only worked for 8 months, but what were your real learnings from your first job?
Real learnings were like, oh my god, I don't think I can work from home because there's always a tab that's going with Netflix and all in parallel. Maybe in the office, I think I might work a bit differently. That's one thing. And the second
Okay.
thing is that, okay, because you are so confident that you could do something, it's just that you should not kind of delve into other, like kind of passions, like when you are actually trying to work, just, like be serious, at least in the work timings.
Yep, yep, yep.
That is something that I said I need to learn this, but let's like kind of, because it's work from home. Let's see when the like work from office starts. Till then, let's just enjoy. That's what I like just carried on with. But
Okay.
yeah, it
Okay.
was a
No, no
good this thing.
judgments here. No
Yeah,
judgments.
of course. Like I'm just being brutally
Yeah.
honest. So it's completely
Yeah.
like normal. I mean,
Uh, and then let's go to the next segment where we'll talk about your Google chapter. I see
hmm.
that you worked at Google in Taiwan, right? After
Yes,
this
yes, yes, yes.
experience, 7 or 8 months experience at Harness. So let's start with how did you secure an international offer by being a working professional from India?
Alright, so Google was like kind of something that I would say. See, when I was in my 11th and 12th, I was kind of like in this mind that like there's something IIT that's waiting for you. I need to get good here, good here. Whereas Google was something like it's an interesting case. It came for the internships, but it didn't even take any interviews or anything. It just outright rejected me based on my resume, even though I was
And
like
this was back when in
in
placements, right?
2020. Yeah, this was in internships, I would say. Yeah, in 2020,
Oh,
before
okay, okay.
like the Amex also got me. It was like it was outright, like it had a really hard cutoff of 9.5 or something, and like it was like I was just about like kind of in the border, and they rejected me from my resume. Like there's no directly, there's no exam, there's direct interviews after this. I was like, okay,
Okay.
I need to secure this in my placement somehow. Like it was like a kind of a mini, what should I say, seed or something that
Okay.
slowly, like that was sown in me. Whereas coming to the campus placements, it didn't even come to the campus in 2021 for IIT Madras. So I was like, you know what, let me secure this off campus. I need to try somehow. And like I was always saying that I have this some kind of a confidence or something. I was just like kind of pushing forward for every Google role that I get. I set up
Mm.
like some kind of a careers Google alert, job alerts, and like slowly it started with applying for Google India, and then like slowly I went uh, and took a referral from my senior, and so with that referral you could apply for 3 roles, and then like I started applying outside of India. I started applying to Sydney, I started applying to uh, Warsaw, whereas like I even interviewed for Warsaw as well, Google Warsaw, but it didn't go through in the first round itself. Like there was a lot of communication difference. uh, and then like I applied to London, US, and all of that, and then like suddenly I got this thing that okay, now I got a role from Taiwan, should I apply? Because I didn't even know where Taiwan is in the Google map. I was even thinking, like even after I got the offer, I was thinking that Taiwan is somewhere near Thailand, but it's a completely different island. So yeah, I just applied it, just thinking that let's see. And then like I got a call from the recruiter, and then the interviews happened, and then there was whole like bunch of like interview loop also that happened, and then there was team matching, and that's when like whereas going through this whole Google process, once I knew that like just after the interview I would get this feeling, like okay, so now I'm gonna get this, should I actually accept this or not? It's more like that way. The compensation offered was, I don't remember exactly. It was mostly on the par with the market. It's not like too
Oh.
Googlish or something. And even the stocks
Mm.
were very lesser than India. It's just that the base is like comparable to India, I would say.
Mm.
It's like
Mm.
more, instead of INR, it was some Taiwan dollars, which is like 2.5 times of India. So
Okay. Okay.
whereas even in
Okay.
Taiwan, the expenses were also similar range, I would say. So it was like the only thing
Mm.
that I told my parents to convince is, if your income is 2.5 and if your expenditure is 2.5, your savings will also be 2.5x,
Conversion
right?
rate.
Your savings will also be 2.5x, right? So you can just like, this is something that.
Okay. Okay. And then, I mean, I've never been to Taiwan. So, how were there any like huge cultural differences compared to India or Taiwan?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example.
Hmm.
Firstly, when I moved to US in 2021,
Hmm.
the huge, I would not say cultural shock, but a very surprising element in US that I found was everyone here, when they walk past each other, they just greet, regardless of if you know them, if you don't know them, if you have a very serious face, if you
Hmm.
have a happy face, they don't care. They just say, "Hey, how are you doing?" That was a very surprising element. I mean, I'm sure if అదే పని నేను ఇండియాలో చేస్తే ఎవడ్రా వీడియో అన్నట్టు చూస్తారు నన్ను. సో ఐ మీన్ తైవాన్ లో అట్లా ఏమైనా కొంచెం డిఫరెంట్ గా ఏమైనా కనబడిందా ఆన్ లైక్ ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్?
Different అంటే Taiwanలో one thing that I observed is this. So whenever I have any queries or something, the people really want to help, I can see that passion in them. I can see that, okay, I don't want to say I don't know right now. I will help you. I will try my best to
ఓకే.
help you. That kind of a thing.
ఓకే.
And coming
ఓకే.
to the, like, let me just answer what's, like, how, what all have I felt different in Taiwan or something. So first thing, there was a huge language barrier. The locals
ఓకే.
there don't know English, and they just
ఓకే.
knew, like, Mandarin. And that's why I would say that I can see that they want to help, but
ఓకే.
what they say, I have to actually translate using Google Translate and all of that. Like, Google Translate was always a third medium between me and, like, the Taiwan local persons. Whereas in Google, like, the companies knew a bit of English, but still there were some, like, kind of present tense, past tense mistakes that led to some kind of really minute, like, work issues as well. That I thought I did this instead of, like, you do this. He said I did this, so I thought it's something. But
ఓకే.
these things are normal, like, one thing I even joked with my friends at that time, that okay, so now if I actually get a Taiwanese girl, like, going into a relationship, then there will always be Google Translate, the third person sitting in the corner, and all of that.
You never know, man. That girl might learn Telugu or English
It's
out of
okay, it's
love,
okay. Yeah. So that was one thing, and then there was a food barrier as well, because I am a vegetarian, and in Taiwan, it was a really good exposure. That okay, so there are places where you don't get a really good vegetarian options. There might be, like, even in Google Office as well, man. I'm telling you, French fries was the only vegetarian option when I joined. So me, along with a
Wasn't
few.
that cooked in the same lard as
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
meat?
There is that, like, fear as well. This, I gave the benefit of doubt and all, but
Mm.
it was that. And then, like, a few Googlers have, like, raised some queries, and then they started a vegetarian kind of a dish,
Oh,
vegetarian salad, that was it. So
mm.
it was like that. Yeah, it was a really good experience.
Nice, nice. And then, like at that point of your career, when you joined Google, I would say people who are pursuing BTech, Google is something like a dreamland. Just like how you were perceiving IIT when you were in Sri Chaitanya, when you were in BTech, people perceive Google as dream job, dream offer, and all of that. So at that point, when you were in Google, when you know that you have your dream job or whatever that is called, what were your future goals? I mean, did you
Uh,
even think about future goals when you were in Google?
So one thing, basically, right now, of course, no one would know, but when I was joining Google itself, I knew that this is just an experimental phase. I knew that I'll be leaving
Okay.
Google soon. Uh,
Okay.
how soon is something that is a bit, like, it's a completely different matter in itself. But by the time I joined Google itself, I already have my master's applications ready and all of that.
Oh,
So
okay.
I knew that, like, there will be some kind of a master's offer coming in parallel, and I have to choose between
Mm.
Google and that. So I knew that
Okay.
decision is going to come always, and I was actually mentally prepared that okay, Google Taiwan might be just a temporary chapter in my life. Let's see how like things go. That was like my this thing at that time. One thing I would say is that in my fourth year of IIT Madras, that's when I suddenly started viewing that like I need to kind of go to higher studies. That kind of a small kind of a passion started in my fourth year during the COVID time. Maybe just because I wanted to escape home. That might be one of the reasons, but uh,
Okay.
yeah, that's it. And Google Taiwan was something that I felt that like because I want to escape from this whole like just the routine that I was having, and Harness was not asking me to come to the office. The situation was like there was a second lockdown and all of that, and then I was like, you know what, I need to somehow try to escape, and that's how like even Google Taiwan, that was also a small motivation towards my like Taiwan, I would say.
Okay, okay. That's I did not expect this answer actually, but nice. So let's start to the master's phase. Let's start your master's phase. Information about your master's. Did you only apply to London, or did you have any other countries where you were open to, attending university there?
Yeah, so basically, it was during Harness that I started applying to like different universities. Whereas coming to UCL, I applied just after I left Harness. Coming to this, I was pretty much like not fixated on a specific country. I've applied to a bunch of unis in US, bunch of unis in UK, a couple of Canada and Australian universities as well. I received offers from Australia and UK. You know me, right? So people actually hype me up a lot. So I was like, you know what? Let me just apply to MIT, Stanford, etc., etc. Let me just apply to Cambridge, Oxford. Like Canada, Toronto, and Australia. Let's just put it as a backup. Let me apply to ANU and Melbourne. That's what I like kind of thought. I prepared some kind of an Excel sheet, what are all required, and all of that. And I chose universities which didn't require GRE. GRE was made optional for a lot of universities at that time.
During
Maybe
COVID,
because of
yeah.
yeah, during COVID. So I was like, let me just apply only with my TOEFL or IELTS. I wrote both of them. I think IELTS, my score was 8, so maybe IELTS was something that I pushed.
Higher than me,
Uh,
higher than mine, but that's okay.
it's okay, it's okay. It just happens, Like I scored only, like in listening, I scored 8.5 or something. The others were very, like kind of 7.5, but somehow the average turned out to be 8.
Okay.
But only there were a couple of universities where IELTS was not accepted. TOEFL was the only, like this thing, and that's why I have to give TOEFL as well. I don't remember the score, but IELTS was really good, I would say.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, just like brought down the requirements, just jotted down everything, and then like I started applying to all these universities, and I received rejects from all of my US universities
Okay.
because I was
Okay.
just aiming for the top ones. I didn't put a US backup in my list. My backups were always Australian or Imperial and UCL, and I received UCL was never my like top choice, but yeah, I got into UCL, ANU, and Melbourne, and that's when like I have to decide, and I decided that what, London would be a better this thing. UCL would be a better choice in terms of like global rankings, etc., etc. And that's when I discovered that UCL has a really good machine learning component. UCL has a really good connections with DeepMind and all of that. DeepMind is like the uh, big tech of ML, is what I would say. So it's
Yeah.
something that right now it's like DeepMind is under Google only, so it's still that level is there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
And before I ask you, why did you select UCL? I mean, you already partly answered
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but just to get the gauge of what's the ranking of UCL. If you can compare it with US universities, in US I would say top are MIT, Stanford, UCLA, Georgia Tech, all of these. Like, does UCL come in like top 5 or top 10 universities in London? I'm just trying to gauge
Yeah, so
how good that
it's just
university is.
like after Cambridge and Oxford, I would say Cambridge, Oxford, and then Imperial, UCL is what I would say. If you look at the QS
So,
rankings, it's like Imperial, Oxford, Cambridge, and UCL. UCL is always in
oh,
top 10 in QS overall, and
okay.
so
Because I know that I don't know if I'm wrong here or not, but I've heard a lot of this UCL, about this UCL college, from a YouTuber called Ali Abdul. I don't know if you know him.
No, no.
He makes videos about productivity and all of that. Now he's a huge YouTuber. I believe he has like 6 million subscribers right now. He
Okay.
was he was a student pursuing a doctor degree medicine, I believe. But I remember that's why I asked if it's like
Yeah,
one of the
it's on
top
par with Ivy League
number.
in US is what I would say. If you compare
Oh,
Cambridge and
okay.
Oxford with like MIT, Stanford, and all, then the next
Mm-hmm.
like set of Ivy League universities. There's of
Mm-hmm.
course Russell Group universities as well. There's a set of universities in the UK, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like a holistic set. Like it's not just 7-8 universities. It's more like this big chunk. So UCL is. That's what I didn't like kind of expect that okay UCL has a really good ranking as well. When I was applying I didn't look at all of this, but yeah, that just came into the picture. Yeah.
Okay, nice. What were your expectations from your master's degree? Like, you've said that you wanted to explore the component of machine learning from UCL. What were your expectations? Like, were you at the start of masters, did you know that you would pursue some kind of research track masters, or were you more focused on industry track so that just get out of the university and get into the real world contributing into machine learning?
I would say it's not something that many people would feel, but my master's was more to like kind of go into the research aspect and actually like continuing my research, going towards a PhD, and then like postdoc and all of that.
Mm.
There's a whole like
Okay.
path that's like that was planned. So when I got my UCL offer, I definitely knew that like there's a ANU Melbourne, so most probably UCL Masters is something that I would accept. And then like at that time I had this Google choice as well, right? So
Mm.
then like I listed down a few like kind of points and like few motivations and all of that, and that's when like I kind of felt that okay, this Masters is no longer something that like I just need to go to the UK, get my Masters, work there, like pay off my education loan and all of that, and then like settle in the UK. This was not something that I was thinking at that time. I was thinking, okay, UCL is
Mm.
going to give me some master's degree, which would give me some kind of a potential, like kind of research exposure, and that would be my stepping stone towards my higher education, be it PhD or maybe
Mm.
industrial research was some kind of a pathway that I was thinking, like research in say big tech or like research in some kind of a lab or something. So this was like my kind of thought process. This was my thought process when I was actually like kind of deciding Google versus UCL and all. So I don't know if this like this is something that is answering your question or something, but maybe like I'm
No,
answering
no, no. It
something
is.
in the future or something.
It definitely
uh,
is.
yeah, so that was my thought process. And uh, before joining my master's, what I was just expecting is, I know that academically it would be an extension of the machine learning courses that I did at IITM. I knew that like more or less the structure would be more or less the same. It's just that more subjects, or like it's more like this. So yeah, you got into IIT Madras Computer Science, so you knew a bunch of things in computer science. You just like
Mm.
jotted down everything to machine learning after that. Now I knew in
Mm-hmm.
UCL machine learning, I'm just widening it and I'm narrowing my like area of interest, and then in that I'll be
Mm.
going to my next study and all of that. That
Yeah.
was
Yep.
like I'm just going deep into like one computer science area. And there's some
Mm.
people
That's
like
how you're supposed to.
yeah, some people do a lot of these things that like I need to get MBA, I need to get this, and like they're just having a lot of knowledge on a lot of stuff. What I want is a specialized knowledge in a specific stuff. So
Mm. Jack of all trades versus master of one.
yeah, I mean, like I knew that I can be a jack of all trades because I have that confidence in my
Mm.
mind. I knew that like whatever I do, but I want to be a master of one. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Yeah. So, Mounik, moving forward, I see that you've interned at Findlay. I
Mm-hmm.
believe it's a small company. It's a startup in London. And how was your internship experience? For in my case, in US, it was very difficult to secure an internship. Back then, and at this point, it's even more difficult. So was it the same in London? How was your internship search experience? Let's start with
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. So first things first, I was not looking for an internship at that time. I was just looking for a full-time offer. Uh,
Okay.
and I was thinking about part-time this thing as well, because during my master's project there would be some time for securing this part-time jobs and all of that. So first things first, I wanted to secure my full-time job, and that's how I started applying to a bunch of firms, bunch of things, and all of that. And uh, because it's that's how I came through this Findly AI as well. I think I don't remember the count, but every day I was just blindly applying as well. I was just opening the career pages sometimes, and sometimes it was just quick apply on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
easy apply and all of that. But yeah, it was, man, it was not an easy experience, is what I would say, because when I was
Mm.
going through that, there was a lot of layoffs, there was a lot of hiring freeze and all of that. And that's how uh, things got delayed, and finally I got an offer from Finally AI, is what I would say. It was
Okay.
more like this: they wanted someone who can join immediately as well, uh,
Mm.
because it was just a team of 5 people and I was the sixth person. So it was like complete early stage startup. It was just that there's
Mm.
some kind of a product that was built by them. It was not like I have to build the whole product. It was more like, now from this what should I say, base product, we need to add more features, make more
Mm.
things and all of that. And so I was not working on writing the code from scratch. I was just working on extending the code.
Okay.
So yeah, they said that they would start with an internship offer, and then they would convert it to full time. And that's how
Mm.
I got into this internship kind of a thing. I was like, okay, for the next 2-3 months as well, I can just work for here, and I would know how this industrial research would be, because they said
Mhm.
that there would be some kind of a research component as well. But yeah, it's my first machine learning engineer related role, so that's a bit different to the previous software engineer roles that I worked with. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Okay. That was nice. How different was working in a very big firm, working in Taiwan and Google, and then suddenly, you're working in a startup. Uh, I mean, in my case, it was a similar experience because I interned at a company called Toshiba, which is really big.
Hmm.
And then right now, my full time job is in a company that's not so big.
Hmm.
Yes, it is. It's definitely not startup. It's a medium scale company.
Hmm.
But in my opinion, there is huge difference. Major difference that I've seen is that you kind of have to wear multiple hats when you're in a
Hmm.
small sized company to accommodate for less people, more work situation.
Hmm.
So how was your experience?
One thing I would say is that working in Google was a complete, kind of, um, it was like something that I never, seen before. Because
Hmm.
even in Amex, it was just a 2 months of internship that was also from home, right? Whereas in Google, I was, kind of getting food for free, getting, transportation for free, and all of that. I was like, oh my god, okay. And even the claims as well, for every small claims as well, I could try to reimburse. And I
Hmm.
got a whole relocation package and all of that, and then it felt like it was more organized. There's a
Hmm.
process to everything. There's a process to even for you to get your work as well, for you to work on that. And there was no kind of pressure, there was no time sensitivity there. One thing that pushed me out of Google was when I was doing the team matching phase in Google. It was the role that was promised was way different than the role that I got. Even
Hmm.
it didn't even feel like I was doing software engineer role. It felt more like an analyst kind of a role. Just uh,
Okay.
it's more like triaging issues rather than fixing issues.
Hmm.
Maybe who knows? Google might have given me more experience down the lane, and maybe I would be
Hmm.
exposed to some of the work that they were promising. But I didn't expect that. Oh my god, the first 3 months what I did was nothing. I didn't even code one line. I was just kind of moving all the tickets, or just observing random patterns. And it was
Hmm.
more of a hardware and analyst kind of a role, I would say that.
Okay.
That is something that pushed me towards my masters. That is something that further motivated me, along with the language and food barriers. I don't know, like I'm answering multiple questions in this.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I totally
Whereas
understand.
coming to, like startup, yeah, coming to finally, it was just, like I was like the fourth developer and, like sixth person in the team. I was building some kind of a testing framework for the future, like features and all of that. And it felt like I was working a lot compared to, working at Google, like it was like a kind of 0-1 kind of a difference.
Mm.
But then that's when, my even hardness, this thing also came into the picture. And I would say that all the three, like a startup and a mid range and, like a very, like big tech, I was able to see the differences, like, okay, now for this finally, it should move into some kind of a company like hardness, and then only it could move into something like Google.
Mm.
Or maybe, there might be another case that you could just, like work with a limited set of people and, like just uh, go grow in terms of revenue and all of that. But yeah, so there was like the work was there, but it was like you need to work every day, you need to kind of have everyday stand-ups, you need to kind of, have that, like show progress every day, you need to,
Mm.
and that progress also should be significant in terms of, like, like the contribution, be it, like the lines of code, or be it the correctness, or be it the number of features that you deploy and all of that. You should actually, like be on a constant this thing, uh,
Mhm.
that you need to deliver. I liked it. I didn't say so I didn't feel like, uh, a really pressury kind of a situation or something. I was just going through my own pace, and kind of I liked it. And I felt that, like, okay, now this is the time that, this is the age or something, like I don't know why I classify these things, but this is the age
Mhm.
that I could give most of my, space towards work. So let me just work on a very, like kind of, uh, high pressure environment, or, like very active environment. So that's how, like
Mm.
I was just working on startup. That's the one major difference. Apart from that, you won't get a lot of perks and all. One more advantage is that you
Of
will be
course.
directly in touch with the company head, like the CEOs and
Um,
CTOs. So if you manage to get a good impression, you might get a really good benefit in the future. You might,
mm.
like, whereas in Google, it's always, there's a lot of hierarchy, that there's a lot of red tape that you need to pass through even.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. So now let's go to the big question. I'm actually excited because for all the other questions, I kind of expected your answers, or I know that okay, hey,
It could
this
be
would
one
be
of
his
these,
thought
yeah.
process. But this question is kind of what's I've been actually holding my excitement for this question. You literally had London, a degree from one of the top colleges in UK, and then global experience. Yet you decided to return to India, and why is that?
Okay, so this is something that, like many people ask me. So the very big, like kind of change in my life. So before this, like, let me just explain to you what London has given me. London has given me a lot of global exposure.
Mhm.
London has given me, like it just opened my mind, is what I would say. There's a lot of diversity in London. Like that's my second international destination apart from Taipei, right? So
Mm.
I could see a lot of, like kind of, okay, so this is how, like an English speaking country would be. And there's a lot of people that I met, lots of different cultures, lots of different, like this thing. And I was like, wow, this is really, like kind of, it just uh, like blew my mind, is what I would say. It was like a really different kind of exposure, and I was actually enjoying it. Um, so as you said, like I had London, I had everything. I had, like kind of, yeah, but what I didn't have was a job offer actually. So the job offer that was promised got revoked, and the whole, like
Mm.
hiring freeze, this thing. So the startup was unable to sponsor my visa, because of certain, government limitations and all of that. For them to sponsor, they have to get a license, and that's a whole different process. So they said they couldn't offer me a full-time job, and that they said during the end of my internship. If they would have
Uh,
said it, like even in the initial phases or something, then maybe I could have, like, because there were a lot of interviews that I was at the final round, and I
mm.
rejected them because here I would be getting an internship plus full time. So I was like, it's okay. And they even said that they were expecting more out of me during my masters, But because of my master's project, because of my movie passion, because of my this, I couldn't balance everything as much as they would have expected. It's like, they were expecting some 30 plus hours of work. I was just giving 20 plus hours, something like that. It was okay. So that's how, by the time so at that time I got this rejection, I was actually in India.
Oh.
So I was in India when I got rejected. I
Oh,
booked a
wow.
return flight to the UK as well. It was like, I'll work from home for, like a couple of weeks, and then I'll come back to UK and resume my full time offer. That was the plan, like the internship final week would be in India. But yeah, things didn't, pan out. So what I thought was, let me just go back to UK. Let me just restart my applications. Let me just, kind of search for jobs. The other option was, to get a post-study work visa as well after, it would be around 3 months after I get back to UK. So let me just, weigh in all these options, and let me just decide. That was the plan, and then I went back to UK, and that's how, that was, I would say, see, so my life I would categorize into these phases. 2022 was the experimental phase where I joined Taiwan, where I, went to Taiwan, where I, finally at the end of the year I was in London. So it was like a very different kind of a phase. Whereas 2023 was kind of my rock bottom, is what I would say, because navigating that phase was really difficult. It was like, in London the rents are really high, the whole, financial aspect of it. The monthly rent was, I would say, it's nothing short of 1 lakh per month, because it is London. So either you
One
have to
lakh
live.
Indian rupees, right?
Yeah, Indian rupees. I won't say pounds. So yeah, 1 lakh in Indian rupees. So it was a really difficult phase because my expenses were increasing and I was not having any job offer. And I was not even studying, there's no the purpose of, the purpose for which I went to London, it's done in September itself. So now I'm just looking for jobs. So it was a really difficult phase, whereas the job offers I was getting or the interviews that I was giving were for, kind of packages that I would easily secure in India as well, like 20,000, 25,000 pounds. So I was like thinking a lot, there was a lot of what should I say, uh, pressure, not pressure exactly, there was a lot of things that, I was going through. And the problem, one more problem on top of all of this was, I was kind of alone in that, in that, there might be a lot of people in my situation, but in London where I was there, I didn't have, a very big circle or something.
Okay.
Most of my friends have secured some kind of job. Some people have, moved out of India. There were just, a few people that were there, that, kind of just gave me some kind of a, what should I say, company, I would say. Yeah. They just made me not to think on this too much. And there was of course my movies and TV shows that were, kind of giving me a break from all of this. And one day while I was walking through, near the King's Cross station, I just had this epiphany that, okay, you know what? Now for you to take the post-study work visa, you have to pay again 2 lakhs, and then, monthly around, these are all INR that I'm speaking, monthly around 1 lakh would be the expenses. So even if you take some 5-6 months to secure your job now, then, it would easily cost you around, I would say, some 6-7 lakhs. And for that, you need to actually, somehow secure this money as well, ask from, parents, and how they could arrange this, or, some kind of a loan on top of all of the loans that I have. So it was one option, and the other option was, what, you are talented, it's just that the confidence that you have was hit. So if you are really, good, go to India, work there, get a skilled worker visa, and come back to the UK. And working in the UK was not even your final, this thing. You were actually here for your masters. You got your masters. Now it's time to work on your PhD, or, work on strengthening your applications rather than all of this. So it's not a really, bad scenario if you just go back there. And in London, as long as you, till you get a job, you would always think that, oh my god, what am I doing in life? Am I, there's a whole lot of, mental strain. ఏమంటారు, పిచ్చి పట్టేస్తుంది అంటారు కదా. సో
Uh,
that would always be so. It's just better to go back to India, and that's how I decided. Let me just go back to India and let me just sort out all the financial strain first, because my education loan was starting. Education loan is about like 50 lakhs, I would say. So to pay off that, I have to work. So let me just get back, restart, and then get an offer, get constantly give interviews and all of that, get back to UK, or constantly build up your profile and go into a PhD. So that was the plan, and then I just decided.
okay, okay. I mean, before I move to the segment where you've secured a job in India and how you're dealing with financials, let me ask you. I mean, this is a very personal question. I don't know if I included this in my preliminary question that I sent you. How did your family react
It was
when
included,
you
yeah.
said you were coming back, considering there is a huge education loan?
Yeah. So before when I was actually going through when I got this internship as well, within a couple of weeks, I told them that okay, so my next year might be in the UK,
Mm.
because I got a full time offer, and I felt that be it financially and even physically and mentally as well, this place is better. I would be in a better position if I am in the if I am in London, because of a similar Taiwan explanation. There will be a lot of savings, something like that. And it was a bit, I would say they were not completely shocked by this, but they were like, oh my god, so now you are going to be in UK. And then few months later, when I said that I'll be coming back to India and all, they were like, now that's interesting, kind of a thing, because they were never kind of mentally fixated that okay, I would be in the UK or I would be in India. So
Okay.
it was just that okay. So that's one thing that I kind of felt, even about my parents as well. I would say that they gave me a lot of uh, I would say support in terms of making my own decisions, making my own especially towards the career side of things. Yeah, the financial aspect. Whenever I have any kind of an issue and something, they would try their best to sort everything out. But the decision making aspect of it regarding my career, it was completely kind of left to me. That okay, so he is well enough to decide what's better for him. So
Mhm.
they didn't react in a way that oh my god, it's going to be difficult. They just reacted that okay, it's if you have taken that decision, it means that it would be something there would be something running on your mind. So just
Mm.
go with it, and it would be easier as well, right? Because in London they kind of have an idea that oh my god, how is he doing thing, how is he he's not getting any income or anything, how is he actually managing himself there. Whereas in India he'll be around us, so we can also watch him manage things and all. So it was like that. And
Okay.
yeah,
That's nice. That's nice.
whereas there were a lot of people who were not kind of satisfied with the decision making that I did. They were like, you could have been there, you could have gone there,
Mm.
uh,
Who are they to decide that? So,
yeah, of course. Some people were like, you know what, I won't give up like you. I'm like, I never gave up, it's just
no,
that this.
let him not give up, dude. I mean, it's fine. It's. I
It's
mean, I would directly say it on their face. Keep your thoughts to yourself. So, fine.
yeah, it's okay.
And now you're a trading systems engineer at Algo Quant, right? How
Right,
did
right.
that happen? Like, are you? I mean, I'm sure you're happy at your job, but asking as a friend, how are you happy at your job or current state, considering you wanted to pursue PhD? I mean, I'm assuming which is what you're working on right now. In future, I might see you pursuing PhD, but how is life going in general, considering this role, considering your goals, all of that?
Yeah, so AlgoQuant is something that I didn't expect actually. When I was even during my masters or something. So coming back to India was a decision that I didn't anticipate that I would make this decision. And if I make
Mm.
this decision, there would be a strong reason behind it. But I didn't expect that it would be something like lack of job offers and increase in the financial pressure and all of that. One thing I would say is that since I came back from London, that mindset, like that ambition that, okay, you have to, like kind of go towards your PhD or something, or, like you have to go towards some kind of a big tech in industrial research as well, or all of these thoughts never, like went away. There was
Hmm.
always that. Even last year I interviewed for Meta London,
Okay.
and like this year also I interviewed for a couple of firms, like London based firms and all of that, which means that there is some kind of this thing that's still driving me towards like my end goal. Like this might not be the path that I would settle, but maybe, like who knows, I am liking this role as well, I'm liking this, like work as well. So maybe, I don't know, it's just I would say it's more like right now I am in the phase of being jack of all trades, is what I would say. And
Okay.
even though it's not like a wide range of trades, it's more like, like right now I'm in a trading systems engineer, which is like a low latency software developer. Whereas,
Hmm.
like I worked in a big tech software developer. So in software developers, I am kind of, like being into the jack in all trades phase. But yeah, the being the master in one is also, like going to happen soon, is what I believe. Let's see. It might be 1, it might be 3 years, it might be, like a few years down the line. But there's always that parallel thing that would run on my mind.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, I have some other questions, but you kind of answered them in your previous
Hmm.
question, so I don't want to waste your time, my time. But firstly, thanks for doing this. I'm super sure that this conversation of ours would give someone a really good perspective on, dealing with higher studies and dealing with situations as yours. Even though you're the smartest in the clan or smartest in the group, sometimes destiny doesn't favor us, and we need to still keep fighting. But loved your story, loved the way you're dealing with it, and I'm sure you will do whatever you feel like doing. Can be either pursuing PhD, postdoc, going towards research, or if you started liking this role and delve more into technical aspects of your current role, that's also fine. As long as you're doing what you like, that's all I care, and I wish you all the best towards it. But once again, thanks for doing this. And yeah, if you have any final words, please go ahead and
Yeah. So let me just have a look at. There are a few things that I wanted to say. I think it might be, like some of these I have already told in the, like kind of by answering the previous questions.
Mhm.
So there's one thing that so I would say to a lot of people is that it's okay to, like kind of take risks, or, like restart everything. There's
Mhm.
nothing wrong in, like kind of doing it. And one thing that I learned, that you don't have to hustle in life. You don't have to feel like, oh my god, now I'm already, like of so and so age, I didn't explore
Mhm.
this aspect of my life or something. Like I know that, like there are a lot of things happening that might make you feel like life is small and all of that. But it's okay to,
Mhm.
like take a step back, restart, like and one more thing is that don't just suppress your feelings and all of that. Like just kind of talk to people. If you want, talk to people who, like might have faced the same situation, or who might give you some kind of a guidance, or just, like make you feel better as well. Like it's just, even if they take you out and, like make you forget about all of the, like things that are making you sad or something, it's okay to, like do all of this. I know, like there might be people who would say that, like the opposite of what I say, but these are, like kind of my opinions. And one thing that I would suggest is do enough in the present,
Mhm.
that your future doesn't think about its past. So for this is some kind of quote of mine that I've been following. So people ask me, do you regret coming back to India? Do you actually, like kind of thing? But given those choices at that time, my past has decided that this would be a better move, and I would give the benefit of doubt to my past.
Mhm.
Even, like I would say that if I, like 25-year-old would be there in that, like 22-year-old person who would decide all of this, I would still might, like most I would say 100% of the time I would actually, like come back to India given that scenario. So it's
Mhm.
just that trust your past when and just do enough in the present so that the future doesn't even doubt about its past. So that's something that I would say. And
Okay, that's
yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
They say that, right? Like your decisions should only make sense to you. Don't care about
Yes,
others.
yes, exactly.
But yeah, I think we are
That's it.
already hitting 45 or 50 minutes mark. I'm not
That's
really
it.
sure. So let's end it, Mounik.
Yeah.
Again,
Congrats on
once
your
again, I mean, I
50
can't.
restart diaries, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I was kind of laughing when you said, restart, always restart. I was kind of
Yes.
reminding myself my YouTube journey. But thanks for bringing that up, man. I can't thank you enough for doing this. Truly appreciate it. And yeah,
Yeah, I'm proud
I'll
of
be
you
in
as well.
touch.
Just keep carrying on. Yeah. See you later.
Right.